Hello. We are here to have a talk about something that came out of Nana's noggin when I had a visit with the Gypsy Witch, Miss Matilda, who has a very romantic view of vampires. And I can understand having a romantic view of vampires. This young lady also asked me if I would be surprised if she came here one day and she had actual magic powers. And I said, "You mean like Harry Potter?" And she said, "Yeah, if I could just create something." And I said, "Like Expecto Patronum?" "Yeah." "Well, yeah, because you actually do have magic powers. You just have to learn to identify them. Sometimes it's the smile on your face or the light in your eyes." But Miss Matilda has a very romantic view of vampires. She's been reading those teenage novels, and she's got quite the view on vampires. And I remember back in the day when I had a different view on vampires. And we got into the discussion about how the movies have sure changed from back when I was a kid to now. When I was young, a vampire couldn't come in your house without being invited. And the only way to make sure they stayed in their little coffin area was a stake right through the heart. So, that was, at least there were ways to avoid them. And then over time, as the movies changed and the writers got more creative, and they could do a whole lot more. They can come out in the sunshine. They can be seen in mirrors and in photographs even if they want to. And the main thing has always been that they live forever. And I believe that there are really vampires. And I believe that they've been around as long as the myth has been around. I believe that the myth started because of the deed that long, long ago, those that liked the red stuff that isn't red wine would go out and have victims. When you'd find that victim drained, there's very few ways to explain it. And one of those ways would be that it's a vampire. It lives in the dark, in the shadows, and it comes out only at night. And there's very few ways to make sure that it never comes back. And there's the myth. There's how it grows is through time. We can't come out and nobody's going to go do that kind of thing right out in public because everybody knows it's wrong. Kind of like cannibalism or other things. So, yeah, there's vampires. But I also had to explain to Miss Matilda that they're not healthy and they don't live forever. That kind of a diet isn't a healthy diet, and I believe that if one were to live on that diet for an extended period of time or exclusively, then you would have a very pale, thin, unhealthy human. And maybe they would sleep a lot because they wouldn't have a lot of strength. So there would be the myth of only coming out at night because the only time they have strength is to go out when they're after their next meal. So that is my thought on vampires, brought to you by Miss Matilda, the Gypsy Witch, who put that in my noggin. So it had to come out somewhere, and it's coming out here. And I hope you have a magical day. that, unlike myself, this topic did not turn your hair white. Thank you for visiting.